Let's be real. Weight loss isn't just about a number on the scale. It's about feeling more confident, having more energy, being healthier, and finally showing up for yourself. Everyone says weight loss is actually so simple. Yet, why does it feel impossible? I have binged over 100 hours of expert advice only to hear the same advice over and over, and then it finally clicked for me. The surprising thing about weight loss is it's not a physical battle. It's actually all about your mental ability to stay in the game. I'll help you to catapult your weight loss journey with my consolidated tips today. Together, we'll plan a tree of transformation and discover the 5 habits of fat loss. These are the things that I wished I knew earlier before I went on my fat loss journey. Hello angels, it's Eileen. In this channel, we help multi-passionate young women find joy, confidence, and navigate through the young adulthood. I've been there before. I've lost 3 centimeters off my waist in the last 6 months. So I know that this is possible. You can lose those stubborn fat. Just like a pot is an essential vessel to planting a tree, your metabolism is the fundamental process by which your weight loss journey will be successful or not. In simple terms, metabolism is the internal process by which your body expends energy and burns calories. It runs 24/7 to keep your body moving, even when you're resting or sleeping, by converting the food and nutrients you consume into energy your body needs in order to breathe, circulate blood, grow and repair cells, and everything it does to survive. This process works at different intensities in different people. How fast your metabolism works is determined mostly by your genes. People might have fast, slow, or average metabolism, regardless of their body size and composition. So age is also a big factor in affecting metabolism, as it can slow over the years. So even if you start out with a fast metabolism, differences in metabolism speed are evident in how easy or hard it is for people to gain or lose weight. A slow metabolism burns fewer calories, which means more gets stored as fat in the body, and that's why some people have difficulty losing weight by just cutting calories. A fast metabolism burns calories at a quicker rate. Well, that's explained why your friends can eat a lot and not gain any weight. Why this is important? This is because if you are going through a caloric deficit, and if you are going for such a small amount of calorie, like 1,200 every single day, and you will eventually see that your weight loss will plateau. This is because your body has adapted to a small amount of calories that you've been eating. So don't undernourish, otherwise it will ruin your metabolism. Actually, evidence from Harvard Health have stated that you can't fix your metabolism, but rather you can help it with nutrition, exercise, sleep, which are what we'll be touching on next. Before we get into the important bits, let me tell you a secret. I actually failed miserably at incorporating these habits into my life, and I don't want you to do the same. So listen to this. As an extreme person I am, I want to incorporate all these habits all at once. And what it did for me, I was so exhausted. I was struggling to keep up with all these habits all at once, and I had to drag my feet in adapting to this new schedule and habit and lifestyle. Instead, what would have worked better for me was seeing it as a lifestyle change and incorporating these habits gradually, one at a time, before I move on to the next habit. So listen, if you want to succeed easily, do that. All right, let's continue. Just like soil, sleep is also the most important base layer in all this. Why is sleeping important?
So after 2 days of 4 hours less sleep, leptin levels go down. So people are not feeling satiated by their food because leptin regulates satiation. And their ghrelin levels increase. So it's a double whammy. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone. It tells you you're hungry. And so they're getting this continual hunger. So global hunger ratings go up. Global appetite goes up. So people are not satiated by their food, and they're hungry throughout their day. And again, Eve Van Kouter's work has shown that people eat more, so they're consuming foods and have cravings for processed foods, highly refined sugars, salty foods, processed fats of relevance here for poor sleep. So mild sleep restriction. This is 1 to 3 fewer hours of sleep per night. So 1 is not a lot. Doing that 3 nights in a row can increase fasting insulin levels. It can lead to higher insulin concentrations, elevated fasting glucagon levels, and also it decreases insulin sensitivity. Again, this is just getting 1 hour less of sleep a night for 3 nights. I mean, how many of us have probably even done that at this conference, right? I mean, it's very easy and very applicable, and it's having a profound effect on metabolism. Sleep debt is the cumulative effect of sleep restriction, right? So this is when you're having multiple days of the sleep restriction. So in this case, it was 3 days of 4 hours less sleep per night. That led to 40% slower glucose clearance, 30% decrease in glucose effectiveness, so this is independent of insulin, similar to diabetes, and 30% lower insulin response. So this is really indicating early diabetes. And these are healthy people. This is healthy people after just 3 nights of having 4 hours less sleep a night. Very profound effect on metabolism.
So in conclusion, not sleeping increases hunger, slow down recovery, your energy plummets, which is really counterintuitive because that eats into every aspect of your life. So girl, why have you been sleeping? Sleep requirements, though, differ from people to people, and it's according to your current type, but to have around 7 to 9 hours of sleep is approximate number for everyone. If you want to find out your current type, I highly recommend Dr. Michael Breus, the sleep doctor. He has an amazing website and resources on YouTube to tell you all about the best time to do activities and how much sleep you should get, like morning routine, sleep routine, and all that. Or if you want to find out it naturally, on your non-working day, you can just not set an alarm and see when your body would naturally wake up. How do you get good sleep, you say? I got you. The first thing is to get a good sleep hygiene. So that's including turning off your phone 1 hour before bed, not drinking too much water 2 hours before bed, eating your last meal at least 3 hours before your bedtime, and don't have caffeine 10 hours before. So that means if you are sleeping at 11 p.m., you need to have your last meal by 8 p.m., drink your last water by 9 p.m., and not drink any coffee before 1 p.m. Meditation is also very helpful to reduce stress before sleep, and Yoga Nidra is a great way to fall asleep naturally. I actually like to use Andrew Huberman's Yoga Nidra protocol, and it's when I have bad sleep, it really wakes me up. And you know what? This is where I tripped up when I started my weight loss journey. I was not getting enough sleep because I was trying to front load my protein at night, which meant I couldn't digest all of that protein. And that caused me to have bad sleep, and I just couldn't figure out why I wasn't losing weight. But once I got that nailed down, my weight loss journey smooth sailing again. So once you have set a solid layer of soil, so now we're halfway there. You've got a pot, you've got your soil, and now we need seeds, don't we? So your nutrition is the seed that you're putting into your body. What is nutrition? Why is nutrition important? Because your body is a fuel tank, and if you put less fuel, then you burn off. Through movement, exercise, and simply by existing, your body dips into your stored fuel to keep going. That is a caloric deficit, and that is an essential step for fat loss.
Fat loss occurs because of a caloric deficit. This means that you're consuming less calories than you're burning. You consume calories by eating food, and you burn calories in 4 ways. There's your resting energy expenditure, which is the number of calories your body burns just sitting there, so to keep your heart beating and so on. There's your exercise activity thermogenesis. This is the number of calories you burn from exercising. There's your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. And this is any activity that isn't exercise, so stuff like getting up, sitting down, typing, and tapping your fingers. And then there's the thermic effect of food, which is the small number of calories your body burns, digests.
And I swear, everyone have thrown this word around literally in every podcast about fat loss that I have listened to. And since caloric deficit is the only secret sauce in every single podcast content that I have seen, you don't even need to exercise at this stage. So nailing your nutrition is key. How do you do that? First, calculate your base maintenance, calculate your carbs, protein, and fat intake. Make sure that you don't starve yourself, and make sure you have a small to moderate deficit of 10 to 20% instead of aggressively cutting your calories, because that's what's going to stress you out, make you lose sleep. Or if you're an intuitive person, you can try intuitive eating. First, cutting down your food to 80% of what you usually eat, so that's already naturally will give you a caloric deficit compared to your usual. All right, we've got our seed planted. It will not live unless we give it the next thing. And that is water. Yay! Almost every single video I've watched told me cardio is not necessary to fat loss. Instead, this crazy thing that we do every single day and we don't do enough these days is actually the thing that will lose your weight, which is walking. Why? Because NEAT contributes the most to your caloric burn.
Point to take the 2 flights of stairs every time he goes up to and down from his office. Tom, on the other hand, is a little tired from the workout and prefers the elevator. During the workday, Tim works at a standing desk and paces around during his calls, whereas Tom prefers sitting at his desk. During break, Tim walks over to the nearest coffee shop to get coffee for Tom, who stays desk-bound. After their long day at work, Tim decides to do some housework and then walks over to pick up his takeout for dinner.
This actually shocked me because it's so easy, yet it was also very difficult these days with my job. It has NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis, has a huge impact on how many calories you burn a day. High NEAT individuals can burn hundreds more calories daily than sedentary ones. So that means structured cardio is optional.
So every time someone wants to work with us at Sculpt by Science, I'll say, hey, how many steps are you doing? And they'll literally say 3,000 to 4,000. All you need to do, if you want to start burning more fat, is go to 8,000 steps, right? This is one of the best, it is the best form of cardio, which is walking. And that's your informal cardio, right? And I'm going to show you exactly how to follow it.
You don't need to do cardio to lose weight. Crazy, right? How to do this? I've got a video where I did 10,000 steps, so I will link that below so you can check that out. And I have some tips and tricks there for you. Now your seed is guaranteed to grow because you have given it water. But what if you want to grow faster? And we have the amazing invention of a fertilizer. Weightlifting is like a fertilizer because it accelerates your weight loss process even when it is not super important in the early stages of losing weight. Once you start losing weight, you want to boost your metabolism by gaining some muscle because muscle use more calorie, so you'll be more efficient at burning calorie. This will also prevent you from losing muscle while losing weight because you're at a caloric deficit. If they were having a conversation, this is what your body would say. Hey, I need this muscle. Don't touch it, okay? So instead of breaking down muscle when you're losing weight, your body will burn fat instead. And here's the bonus. Muscle actually burns calories when you're resting. So if you convert that to a finance girl term, isn't that passive exercise? So the more muscle you have, the easier fat loss becomes, even while you sleep. Why lifting? Lifting builds muscles which are important for your daily functions. Especially, this is increasingly important as we age. Our muscles are more difficult to develop and they dwindle very easily. How do you do this? Start with 1 to 2 times a week and aim for 3 times a week of lifting. The best method to build your muscle is to use progressive overload, which means with each week. Increase your weight or the reps that you're doing at the gym. So that's all you need. We have planted the tree of transformation that will help you on your weight loss journey. You'll be melting fat in no time. But before you go, let me give you some insider scoop to help you even more. Have you heard of high intensity interval training? Let me tell you a secret. It is actually not good for weight loss. Of all the podcasts I've listened to, this actually surprised me because it went against everything I believed, or at least what I had known 5 years ago. In my early 20s, HIIT was the it. It was the hit, the thing that magically melts fat. You know, celebrities like Kelly Essence at the time, she was promoting HIIT workout. But I was huffing and puffing all the time and I was really exhausted. But if you start to do HIIT too soon, you end up eating more of your muscles because you're not recovering fast enough. And that really hinders your training, your sleep, everything in your pretty much a domino effect. Because I couldn't work out the next day after a HIIT session. So now I instead prioritize rest, recovery, and occasionally I can incorporate HIIT for training my heart muscles. And just one last thing, listen to your body. You are the best guide and coach you ever have out there. So listen to what it needs. Don't change course unless you have measured it and your weight loss is going the other direction. Remember to stay on track. Remember, angels, you are beautiful. This weight loss journey you're embarking on is a lifestyle change. It is not something that will define your identity or your happiness. So remember to enjoy the climb. Plant that beautiful tree because you are a beautiful, confident soul. It's all about how you feel on the inside. So until next time, take care of yourself. Aileen.